You're listening to this week's episode of the Vacation Rental Business in Today's World podcast. You're about to start transforming your business and life with the information found here. We interview some of the greatest and most influential minds in the vacation short-term rental industry and supporting businesses. The information found here is a combination of brain science, transformational thinking, safety and loss prevention, and vacation short-term rental knowledge and experiences, all rolled into one to help you and your business to achieve levels you never thought possible. I am glad you are here, and now please welcome your host, Eric Thibodeaux.
Hello, everyone, and good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. I'd like to welcome you to my very first podcast in vacation rental business in today's world. So this is our first podcast that we're having, first episode, and I'm recording this while I'm in Egypt right now. As you'll learn, I work in Egypt on a rotational basis as a health and safety environmental manager, in addition to the many other things I do when I'm home in our vacation rental business, real estate investing, and safety work there. So today, this podcast is going to be dropping on August 17th. August 17th is a special day. It's my wife and I's 31st anniversary, and we're going to be in Charleston, South Carolina. And I said, hey, how about if we go to Charleston, South Carolina for our anniversary? And she said, why? What's happening there? I said, well, there's this data and revenue management conference that's being hosted. And I said, why don't we go? We can have dinner and be together. And she said, okay, so when this drops, it'll be our anniversary. And we will also be at the data and revenue management conference in South Carolina in Charleston. So we're looking forward to it, being together with our vacation rental friends and family that we haven't seen in quite a long time. Looking forward to meeting lots of new people while we're there. So I wanted to kind of go through this first episode and just talk a little bit about what the podcast is going to be focusing on, and just get some feedback, hopefully from everyone as we start to go through this, and hopefully present some good information for you. So the podcast is going to cover a wide variety of topics in the vacation rental business. We're going to talk about vacation rentals, buying them, investing in them, operating them, manage them. We're going to talk about advocacy. Of course, we're going to talk about safety. We're going to talk about various topics and aspects as they come up in the vacation rental business. One other thing we're going to talk a little bit about is what I call transformational thinking, and I'll kind of tie that in at the end. So basically, the podcast will focus on three areas, and I think they're all intertwined in how we operate a vacation rental business in today's world. So we're going to talk about vacation rentals. We're going to talk about safety. Safety should be the first thing that we talk about in everything we do, and how we manage, how we own, how we invest, how we manage, how we clean, how we take care of our guests, how we take care of our owners, how we take care of the environment. All of that's rolled up in there. And maybe sometimes we think we're doing it, and maybe we are. And other times we think we're doing it and we're not. So we're going to talk through some of those topics as we go through. This transformational thinking will be another part, and we'll cover a little bit more about that. These three things will kind of make up the various topics we cover. But a little bit about me. I've been a vacation rental owner, manager since 2003. We purchased our first vacation rental in Gulf Shores, Alabama, and that's where our current business is today. Gulf Shores and Orange Beach and Perdido Key, Florida. Along the way, basically, we started in 2009 purchasing apartments and single-family homes. Some we actually owned ourselves, others that we've went in through as a passive investor, and we'll talk more about being a passive investor. And I think this is a huge opportunity in the vacation rental world to be a passive investor in some of these businesses. And I think it'll open up some doors for ownership in vacation rentals both for people who are wanting to own, manage, and then passively invest in these properties. But yeah, so through the years, we purchased, and I think today we own around 4,500 multifamily units, primarily in Houston, but across the United States. We've had as many as 27 single-family properties. We're down to, I think, 7 today. And we've owned office buildings, surgery centers. We still own some of these today. We own part of a travel company. We have some private equity. We have blockchain-related companies, not Bitcoin, not the coin itself, but blockchain-related companies for that. We'll talk about that sometimes maybe. And, when we look at the vacation rental world, actually, I started with vacation rentals long before I did any of these other activities. Like I said, we bought our first one in 2003. At some point, I'll share that story. But today, we own 5. We've had 9 vacation rentals. Today, we own 5, all in the Gulf Shores, Orange Beach market. All are doing extremely well. And my wife and I are building a vacation rental in Fredericksburg, Texas. That'll be something interesting. It's in the hill country of Texas, and we see that market as a great opportunity there. We wanted a house there, and we looked and we just couldn't find anything that we wanted specifically. And so we just said, hey, let's build something. So we're going to have, hopefully by March of 2022, our own property there in the hill country, and looking forward to open that up and having a guest coming there. So I also mentioned I like safety. I've been a safety professional. I've been a firefighter, emergency medical technician, rescue, hazardous materials, crisis management, everything you could think in safety and health and emergency response I've probably done over the last 31 years. I currently still work in this area, like I said, in Egypt, but I've worked across the United States and around the world. I have a master's degree in safety and health from University of Alabama, Birmingham, a bachelor's degree in fire protection and safety engineering from Oklahoma State, and then 3 associate degrees in similar topics at Louisiana State University. So a lot of experience in safety. Looking forward to sharing that with everyone here in our podcast and in other ways. Also, kind of a unique set of skills. At one time, I decided I didn't know enough about the financial world, so I started to get educated. And I took some classes, and I went to an H&R Block class in 1996. Took the class so I could learn more about taxes. And when I finished, they said, hey, you're pretty good. We want to hire you. And I said, well, okay, well, I didn't do that just to get hired. I just wanted to learn about it. So basically 25 years later, I've been working for H&R Block, specializing in real estate and real estate investments and small businesses. I think after this year, though, I've stopped, no longer going to be working for H&R Block. It's one of those things where I enjoy doing it, but just as things change and times change, and there's only so much time in our life that we have. And so I've decided to stop working in taxes and take those good memories and information and use them to help others. Even though I can't put out tax advice or anything, I can certainly give you some topics and suggestions to talk about with your CPA or your attorney. Then we also said we'd talk a little bit about transformational thinking. So the 3 areas: vacation rental business, safety, and transformational thinking. So what is transformational thinking? That's what I call it, but basically it's about how are we growing ourselves internally? How are we being to grow? Most of the time as business owners, and this is me too, this is how I was, right? But not how I am today. I look at a business and say, I want to have so many properties. I want to have so much passive income. I want to have, no injuries. And then I start doing things. And most of the time we do a lot. We do a lot ourselves. But did we ever stop and say, who do I need to be to do the things I want to do, to have that passive income, to have that safer business, to have these properties? This is why the have, do, be is not a working model, because really change comes from inside each of us first, right? We have to be confident. We have to be knowledgeable. We have to be persuasive. We have to be not afraid of money. We have to be all these things to be business leaders, whatever it is. It doesn't even have to be about business. I want to be confident when I go out. So I want to lose weight, but I can't be or do and have without being first. So who am I being when I'm a leader? Who am I being when I am a vacation rental owner, right? Who am I being? Am I being good for my guests? How am I being good, right? So these transformational things and thinking that come in there are some of the topics we're going to talk about. And, we always talk about what we're doing. We always talk about, hey, how are we pricing? How are we taking care of our guests? How are we cleaning? What's the latest cleaning things? How are we dealing with our owners? How do we onboard owners? So all these things are doing, but how are we being with all these different activities? Who are we showing up for in our business? These are things we're going to talk about as we go forward in this course or in this podcast. So this is something that's probably not talked about a lot, right? Because it's kind of maybe out there or woo, but we're going to try to keep it real and hopefully look at some of these activities and get to have the opportunity to have some good discussions and maybe even lives in our Facebook group and things. So this is a little bit about me. This is who I am. A couple of more things I didn't mention about me, but I'm also an owner and founder of Current Tides Vacation Rentals. We manage 52 properties in the Gulf Shores, Orange Beach, Alabama, Florida, Perdido Key, Florida area. And me and my team, my wife, our two partners, and Amy, our accountant, we've created this business from scratch and have been moving it forward. Just did a big acquisition for us. We doubled in size this year, and we'll talk a little bit about that at some point. So we have this business. So we own our own properties. Of course, we manage them through our business. We manage for others. We do HOA management. We do broker, buyer, and seller representation. So we do a lot in that market. The other thing I created last year, as we were into COVID, I created Safer VRs. Basically, Safer VRs is a business that I put together to help owners and vacation rental owners and property managers improve the safety and loss prevention of their businesses so their guests can have safer stays and that they can improve the revenue and protect their businesses. And I believe this wholeheartedly is something that we can do, we can learn together, and we can improve for ourselves, for our businesses, and for our communities and the industry that we love in the vacation rental industry. Something that we need and something that hopefully this podcast and Safer VRs will come at things in a little bit different view. And we'll talk more about that as we go through. So I appreciate you listening today. If you're interested in more about Safer VRs, you can go to www.safervrs.com, sign up there. And we also have a Facebook group called Vacation Rental Safety. Join the group and we will work to have some conversations and topics and discussions in that group. So hopefully this drops well on August 17th while we're in Charleston. The next, we'll be releasing podcasts on every Tuesday. The next one will probably be on the 24th, and it'll be an interview I did with Brooke Fouts from Venturi, where we're talking about growing our inventory as vacation rental owners and managers. So that'll be on the 24th. So hope you're enjoying the podcast. Look forward to hearing from you and hope everyone has a good day. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Safer VR's podcast with Eric Thibodeaux. If you enjoy this, I would love you to join my Facebook group, The Safer Vacation Rentals, for more of the same. You can also join our email list at www.safervrs.com.